The Buffalo Bills are heading into the 2025 season with a roster that's generating a lot of confidence across the board. But when you line up every position group and ask which one deserves the most trust going into the year, there's one answer that jumps out without hesitation: quarterback. Josh Allen continues to be the heartbeat of this team, and his presence alone puts the Bills in elite company. There might not be a more physically gifted and durable quarterback in the league. Sure, there are questions about depth behind him, but Allen's combination of size, toughness, arm strength, leadership, and reliability makes that a non-issue. When your signal caller is a perennial MVP candidate who plays through injuries and produces at a top 5 level, there's just no competition. Quarterback is far and away the strongest foundation on this roster. Now, surprisingly to some, the second spot goes to the offensive line. This is a group that quietly turned into one of the more stable units in the league. The Bills brought back their top 9 linemen from last season, added a talented rookie, and brought in veteran Kendrick Green to deepen the competition. Under the guidance of offensive line coach Aaron Kromer, this unit has consistency, continuity, and upside. Every starter has proven ability, and there's young talent developing right behind them. They've got versatility too, guys who can play multiple spots if injuries hit. It's been a long time since Buffalo could say it had real depth up front, but now it's a genuine strength. And when you pair a dominant quarterback with a sturdy offensive line, everything else gets easier. Coming in at number 3 running back, and this group is sneaky good. James Cook is the lead man, and he's taken a clear step forward in camp. Ty Johnson adds that veteran burst, and rookie Ray Davis has been one of the standouts of the preseason. These 3 backs complement each other perfectly. Cook brings speed and elusiveness, Johnson offers toughness and explosiveness, and Davis runs with power while also flashing soft hands as a receiver. They all contribute on third down, they can all run inside and outside, and they can all catch the football. There's big playability, physicality, and balance across the board. Don't be shocked if this trio ends up being one of the most productive backfields in the entire league. Sliding into number 4, we have cornerback. Yes, there are still some injury question marks, especially with first-round pick Max Melton still under medical evaluation. But when you look at the complete picture, this room has star power, depth, and experience. Christian Benford is an absolute stud and looks poised for a breakout year. You still have Tre'Davious White, a proven veteran with a Pro Bowl resume and deep familiarity with the system. Dane Jackson continues to be a solid depth option, and rookie Dorian Strong has flashed real potential. Taron Johnson is the anchor in the slot. He's an elite nickel corner who doesn't get nearly enough national love. If Melton is healthy, this could be a top 5 secondary. The talent is there, and the competition is only making the group stronger. At number 5, the defensive end position. Greg Rousseau is an emerging star. His length motor and improved pass rush technique have stood out consistently in camp. AJ Epenesa is reliable and has become a key rotational piece. Michael Hawk was a savvy offseason addition who brings both interior and edge versatility. And of course, there's the X factor in Joey Bosa, who if healthy has the potential to transform the entire defense. Throw in young wildcards like Jalvin Solomon and Landon Jackson, and this becomes a very intriguing group. There's a nice mix of proven production, upside, and depth. Not every team has that many ways to get after the quarterback. Coming in 6th linebacker. This is a tricky one because there's upside and risk. Terrell Bernard and Matt Milano form a dynamic 1-2 punch when healthy. Milano is one of the smartest and most athletic linebackers in the league, and Bernard has been a revelation with his instincts and range. The team brought in veteran Shaq Thompson to stabilize the depth chart, and Dorian Williams continues to turn heads despite battling injuries. Rookie Jaron Cooper or any of the young depth pieces might need more seasoning, but the overall group has flash speed, coverage ability, and playmaking instincts. The only lingering concern is durability. If Milano and Bernard stay healthy, this unit could exceed expectations. Tight end lands at number 7. It's a bit surprising to see a group featuring Dalton Kincaid this low, but that says more about the strength of the roster than a lack of faith in the tight ends. Kincaid is a budding star. He's poised to take a big leap as a receiver in year 2. His hands route running and football IQ are already upper tier for the position. Dawson Knox, meanwhile, is a reliable all-around player who blocks well and knows the offense inside and out. The emergence of Jackson Hall as a physical inline presence adds another dimension. This is a well-rounded room, but Kincaid's breakout potential is the main storyline here. If he takes that next step, it could unlock even more for this offense. Number 8 might surprise some fans, wide receiver. And listen, there's talent here, but it's a young and evolving group. Khalil Shakir has emerged as a reliable option. Curtis Samuel brings veteran savvy and versatility. Keon Coleman has had an impressive camp showing off his contested catch skills and improving route awareness. But separation is still a concern with Coleman, and that limits the upside a bit. Behind them, there are players like Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Andy Isabella, and KJ Hamler, all fighting for roles. It's not a weak group by any means. It just doesn't have the same proven depth or star power as other position groups. The pieces are exciting, but the chemistry and consistency still need time to develop. Now we get into the bottom tier of the confidence rankings, starting with defensive tackle at number 9. Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones make up a solid starting duo, no question about it. Oliver's motor and disruption are undeniable, and Jones brings the veteran power and run-stopping presence. But behind him, things get murky fast. Dwayne Carter, Deon Walker, and TJ Sanders are all young and full of potential, but none have shown enough to feel totally confident in the depth. And let's be real, Oliver still battles inconsistency, and Jones is entering the later stages of his career. There's upside here, but also a lot of ifs. If the youth steps up and Oliver finds consistency, this group could climb the ranks fast. But that remains to be seen. And finally, the position group with the least confidence going into the year, safety. Taylor Rapp is a good player and gives you a solid floor. He's physical, experienced, and dependable. But beyond him, there are just too many unknowns. Can rookie Colt Bishop step in and handle big responsibilities early on? What does Damar Hamlin look like now that he's deeper into his return? Is Jordan Poyer truly done, or could he be brought back mid-season? There are a lot of intriguing names. Derek, Forrest, and Jordan Hancock included, but not a lot of sure things. And in a defense that has leaned on great safety play in the past, this drop-off matters. Until someone separates and earns that second starting spot, it's hard to feel great about this group. The overall takeaway, though, is that this Bills roster is deep, balanced, and full of ascending talent. Even the bottom of the rankings isn't a disaster. It's just less certain, and that's a great place to be as a franchise. Quarterback and offensive line are locked in. The running backs are quietly elite. The defense has playmakers across all 3 levels. Now it's just about development chemistry and staying healthy. But if training camp is any indication, this team is trending in a very promising direction. When it comes to the stories, fans are most curious about heading into Hard Knocks. The spotlight is inevitably going to fall on Josh Allen. There's no escaping it. He's the franchise. He's the identity of the Buffalo Bills. And with this being the team's first ever Hard Knocks appearance, you can almost guarantee episode 1 is going to revolve heavily around a guy wearing number 17. Allen's journey, his personality, his leadership style, and how he commands a room. It's made for TV. He's not just a football player. He's a brand, a character, and a heartbeat of this team. The showrunners know it. The fans know it. The league knows it. It'll be the first real taste for a national audience to see Allen behind the curtain, and he's going to deliver. That said, it won't just be about the quarterback. Head coach Sean McDermott and general manager Brandon Beane are going to get their screen time too. The show is likely to paint a portrait of how these two helped shape the culture of this organization over the last several years. McDermott's intensity and Beane's eye for talent have kept the Bills competitive through waves of roster turnover. And with expectations high again this year, their leadership will be a narrative thread throughout the season. Dayan Dawkins is another name that popped up as someone who will be featured. His energy, locker room presence, and charisma make him a natural fit for the screen. He's the kind of personality that adds flavor to the grind of training camp. But beyond the stars, there's always room on Hard Knocks for those underdog stories. That's where things get even more interesting. Look for KJ Hamler to be one of the emotional centerpieces. He's been through adversity, both professionally and personally, and is now trying to carve out a role in a crowded wide receiver room. He's the kind of guy you root for, the one who's fighting for more than just a roster spot. Then you've got someone like Steven Gosno, who's come into camp with a chip on his shoulder, working to prove he belongs. He's not a household name, but that's exactly the kind of player Hard Knocks loves to shine a light on. And don't be surprised if Dalton Kincaid gets some narrative attention too. Last season showed flashes of what he can become, but the expectations are so much higher now. With Stephon Diggs gone and the offense undergoing a transition, Kincaid has a chance to become one of Allen's top weapons. His journey from rookie contributor to potential breakout star is a storyline waiting to be told. Tre'Davious White, too, could feature as a redemption story. After dealing with injuries and inconsistency, he's back in camp looking to reestablish himself as one of the premier corners in the league. Hard Knocks loves a comeback story, and White checks every box. That opening episode then is going to be about laying the foundation, showing the world what the Buffalo Bills are all about. Not just from a football perspective, but from a cultural standpoint, the way they work, the way they prepare, the way they hold each other accountable. And with a Rochester-born director running the show, you can bet the city, the fans, and the heritage of the team are going to be represented the right way. It's not just a football story, it's a Buffalo story. And this fan base deserves that level of recognition on a national stage. As the team gets deeper into camp, attention also starts shifting toward roster construction and long-term planning, especially on the offensive line. One of the biggest discussions right now revolves around the future of the interior offensive line. Specifically, who gets resigned. Connor McGovern and David Edwards are both on expiring deals. O'Cyrus Torrence is locked in through 2026 but becomes extension eligible after the season. With the amount of money tied up at the tackle positions, it's going to be nearly impossible to keep everyone. And that's where things get tricky. The logical priority has to be Torrence. He's young, still growing, and was a Bills draft pick, which always gives a little extra weight in the team's decision-making. His physical profile, ceiling, and long-term potential make him a foundational piece. Edwards and McGovern have both been solid, dependable starters, and there's nothing negative to say about their play. But when it comes to allocating cap space, the front office has to be strategic. Prioritizing Torrence makes the most sense financially and philosophically. The Bills also seem to be preparing for this outcome. Behind the starters, they've built a pipeline of developmental talent. Tylen Grable, Alec Anderson, and Cedric Van Prangranger are all being groomed as potential long-term solutions. There's even buzz around Mike Edwards, an under-Theradar name who's opened some eyes in camp with his athleticism and frame. These guys aren't just bodies. They're part of a plan that assumes some turnover is coming, and that internal development will be key to sustaining success in the trenches. If that plays out, you could be looking at a future line that features Torrence, 1 or 2 homegrown starters, and continued stability at the edges. Meanwhile, one of the hottest debates in the receiver room revolves around Keon Coleman and his ability, or lack thereof, to separate. Let's be honest, that was the biggest concern when he came out of college. People wanted to know, is he quick enough? Can he beat man coverage? Does he have the burst to create windows for Josh Allen? The answer as of now is nuanced. Coleman is never going to be the kind of receiver that wins with pure speed or twitchy agility. He's not going to blow past corners or leave defenders in the dust with sharp breaks. But that doesn't mean he can't be a difference maker. What he's shown so far in camp is a more refined understanding of leverage and how to use his physical tools to create space. He's strong at the top of routes, knows how to use his body to shield defenders, and understands where the soft spots and zone coverage are. That's not nothing. In fact, that's a big deal for a young player. He's never going to be a Devonta Smith or a route technician like Keenan Allen, but if he becomes a contested catch monster with high football IQ and consistent hands, that's valuable, especially in the red zone. The chemistry between him and Josh Allen is going to be critical. Allen reportedly banged the table for Coleman in the draft room, and that investment, both emotionally and strategically, matters. So now it's on offensive coordinator Joe Brady to figure out how to maximize what Coleman can do and minimize the situations where he's at a disadvantage. That means putting him in motion, using him on crosses, letting him win on slants, fades, back shoulder throws. All the routes where size and physicality are more important than suddenness. The staff seems to be adamant on getting him involved early, and that should build his confidence. The upside is there, even if the tools are a little unconventional. This theme of role-specific talent runs throughout the rest of the depth chart. 2. Because when you look at camp performances so far, a few rookies and young players are starting to stand out as legitimate contributors, not just fill-ins. Tylan Grable, for example, is having another strong camp. He looked good last year in the preseason, and he's taken it up another notch. If heaven forbid something happens to Spencer Brown or Deion Dawkins, Grable might be the first name off the bench. He's athletic, long, and clearly trusted by the coaching staff. Jackson Hall is another name to keep an eye on. If Dawson Knox misses, anytime Hall could step in as the inline blocker and fill a very specific role in this offense. He's got size toughness and has made noticeable strides with his technique. He's not going to be racking up stats, but he doesn't need to. He just needs to be reliable in the trenches and help set the edge. If he can do that, he becomes a valuable chess piece in 12 personnel. And how about Ray Davis? We saw him step in last season and carry the load when James Cook was unavailable. He looked comfortable, decisive, and physical. That kind of next man up readiness is exactly what you want from your backup running backs. If Davis gets a chance again this year, there's reason to believe he'll be even better. Linebacker Dorian Williams also deserves a shout out. Yes, he's been banged up in camp, but when he's been on the field, he's looked the part. Fast, instinctive, and more comfortable in the system. If something were to happen to Bernard or Milano, Williams could slide in and hold things down. That's the kind of depth that wins games in November and December. So what does all of this back and forth in training camp tell us? If you're watching closely, it tells a pretty compelling story about balance. In years past, you might have seen one side of the ball dominate, Josh Allen carving up the defense, or the defensive line feasting on a shaky offensive line. But this year, it feels more even. Some days the offense gets the upper hand. Some days the defense makes more plays. And that's a good thing. It means the team is competitive internally. It means they're challenging each other and exposing weaknesses that can be fixed now instead of in week one. Last year, Allen was lighting up camp, and it looked like the passing game was unstoppable. Turns out that was more of an indictment of where the defense was headed. Struggles on third down, trouble in coverage, and inconsistency against top-tier quarterbacks. That early dominance was a red flag in disguise. This year is not just Allen doing Allen things. It's the defense answering back. And that suggests a more complete team. One that can win in different ways. One that's built to endure the full grind of a 17-game season. There's still plenty of camp left. Preseason games are coming. Jobs are still on the line. But if you're looking at trends, if you're watching the matchups, if you're paying attention to which names keep popping up in team drills and scrimmages, the signs are encouraging. The Buffalo Bills are deeper, more physical, and more versatile than they've been in recent years. And that might be the biggest difference maker of all. Before we dive back in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest Buffalo Bills updates straight to your screen. And hey, don't hold back. Let us know your thoughts on today's news down in the comments. Rumors have been swirling in the NFL community, igniting a frenzy of speculation regarding a potential blockbuster move that could reshape the Buffalo Bills' offensive line for years to come. The latest buzz suggests that PENEI SEWELL, the age 24-year-old offensive lineman known for his impressive agility and sheer power, may have agreed to terms with the Bills. This would mark a significant acquisition for Buffalo, a team that has been aggressively seeking to bolster its protection, schemes, and run game. SEWELL, whose reputation as a towering force on the line precedes him, is said to bring a rare combination of youth, experience, and raw talent that could instantly elevate the Bills' offensive front. With the team already featuring a robust skill set at quarterback and skill positions, the addition of SEWELL might just be the missing puzzle piece to push Buffalo into elite status in the league. Sources close to the negotiation hint that talks have been progressing smoothly, fueling hopes among fans and analysts alike that this rumored signing could soon become a reality. While no official announcement has been made, the mere possibility of SEWELL donning the Bills' colors has created an electrifying buzz throughout the NFL circles, leaving everyone eager to see if this move will indeed come to fruition. The potential signing of PENEI SEWELL by the Buffalo Bills has stirred intense discussions about the immediate and long-term impact on the team's offensive strategy. SEWELL, at just 24 years old, is widely regarded as one of the most promising offensive linemen of his generation, blending size, speed, and technique in a way that few players can match. Experts speculate that Sewell's arrival could dramatically improve the Bills' pass protection, offering their quarterback more time to execute plays and reducing pressure from opposing defensive lines. Additionally, Sewell's presence might open up new opportunities in the running game, helping to create lanes and maximize the effectiveness of Buffalo's running backs. This potential upgrade comes at a critical time as the team looks to solidify its standing as a playoff contender and build a championship caliber roster. Fans have already started to imagine the ripple effects this could have, from increased offensive production to enhanced morale within the locker room. Although the deal remains unofficial, the excitement surrounding Sewell's rumored move has revitalized discussions about the Bills' off-season priorities and their strategic ambitions for the upcoming season. As the rumor mill continues to churn around PENEI Sewell's prospective contract with the Buffalo Bills, analysts are delving deeper into the financial and tactical implications of such a signing. Sewell, who has been on the radar of multiple franchises due to his exceptional performance and youthful potential, is reportedly considering an offer that reflects his value as a cornerstone for the future. Speculation suggests that the contract could be lucrative, making Sewell one of the highest paid players on Buffalo's roster. This would signal the organization's commitment to investing heavily in the offensive line, a move that could pay dividends in both protecting their franchise quarterback and establishing a dominant running attack. Meanwhile, discussions have also surfaced about how Sewell's integration into the team's culture and scheme might unfold. Coaches and teammates would need to adapt quickly to harness his unique skill set, which is characterized by explosive power and technical finesse. The prospect of such an acquisition has ignited debates about how Sewell's presence could influence the Bills' drafting and free agency strategies moving forward. Even without official confirmation, the mere possibility of Sewell's arrival has added a new layer of intrigue to Buffalo's off-season narrative. Speculation surrounding PENEI Sewell's potential signing with the Buffalo Bills has also triggered widespread analysis of the broader NFL landscape and how this move might shift power dynamics across the league. Sewell's reputation as a dominant offensive lineman has made him a coveted asset, and if Buffalo successfully secures his talents, it could tilt the balance in their favor against divisional rivals and conference foes. The Bills front office appears to be signaling a readiness to compete at the highest level by pursuing top-tier talent like Sewell, which could force other teams to respond with their own aggressive acquisitions. This rumored deal could also have a cascading effect on the market for offensive linemen, influencing contract negotiations and player evaluations throughout the NFL. Fans and commentators alike are keenly observing the unfolding developments, eager to assess how Sewell's potential addition will impact Buffalo's offensive identity and competitive outlook. While the uncertainty remains, the speculation alone has invigorated debates on social media and sports shows, painting a picture of a Bills team that is actively shaping its future through bold and strategic moves. Whether Sewell's agreement materializes or not, the mere prospect has undoubtedly injected excitement and anticipation into the NFL offseason. The murmurs of PENEI Sewell joining the Buffalo Bills have sparked intense interest not only among fans and analysts, but also within the team's internal circles, where anticipation about his potential contributions is palpable. Sewell's skill set, marked by his towering physical presence and agile footwork, could address some of the Bills' key vulnerabilities along the offensive line, areas that have been scrutinized in past seasons. His youth and versatility may allow Buffalo's coaching staff to experiment with new offensive schemes, potentially increasing their tactical flexibility and on-field adaptability. Moreover, Sewell's rumored signing might influence the morale and confidence of the entire squad, sending a strong message that the franchise is committed to assembling a championship-caliber roster. This development could also affect the team's future personnel decisions, as they might prioritize complementary players to maximize Sewell's impact. Although the deal is yet to be finalized, insiders suggest that both parties are motivated to reach an agreement swiftly, fueling further speculation about the timing of an official announcement. In sum, the buzz surrounding PENEI Sewell and the Bills has created an atmosphere of optimism and intrigue. with many wondering if this impending move will be the catalyst that propels Buffalo to new heights in the highly competitive NFL landscape. That's a wrap for now. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of all things Buffalo Bills, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what you think in the comments. See you in the next update.